Well, in a matter of years, it's gone from being a web novelty to the tool that millions use to keep friends up to date. Politicians are even using it for campaigning at the moment. But Facebook is suddenly facing all sorts of criticism and questions too from users as well as the authorities. Now, its privacy policy is longer than the US Constitution. We'll just scroll through just some of it here. Most use the information, it's publicly available without many realising, I can't just see the words here, unfortunately, without many realising that it's giving third-party websites access to personal data. Now, a user who wants to make themselves completely private must click through some 50 privacy buttons and choose from more than 170 options. Now, that's according to one report that went through the process of trying to restrict public access to their Facebook page. Now, if we needed reminding of Facebook's power, then look to France, where giant free parties organised via the website are starting to worry authorities. Tens of thousands have turned up in a square in Nantes on Wednesday. Footage posted on YouTube. Quite a few people there, as you can see. A 21-year-old man who'd drunk a large amount of alcohol died after falling from a bridge last November. A similar party resulted in 50 alcohol-induced comas and falls and fell into the Loire River. The Minister of the Interior has called a meeting for next week. Well, Ben Parr is the co-editor of Mashable.com, a social networking blog. He joins us live from San Francisco. Thanks very much for coming on the programme. Facebook's facing a huge amount of criticism at the moment, particularly because of the privacy issues. Has the company taken the wrong path as far as people's privacy settings are concerned?
The issue is probably that everyone's to blame. So Facebook for those who don't know, changed their settings to something called Open Graph, which shares more information with third-party websites about what you like, what you dislike, that type of thing. And a lot of users were not happy. A lot of media was not unhappy, and they didn't communicate very well what they were doing. And it is very tough to privatize your settings on Facebook right now, and that's caused a lot of controversy.
So why is everyone to blame? Surely it's Facebook's fault. They changed the privacy settings without telling their users that they're being changed.
Well, one of my favorite phrases is, don't put anything online that you wouldn't want your mother to see. Part of the issue is that you shouldn't be putting on information on the web that you don't want on in the first place. And I think that's probably the best policy. Because while Facebook...
These sites, like what Facebook in particular, target very young users. Is it reasonable to expect that somebody that's 15 or 16 might read a really long, essentially contractual agreement between them as the user and Facebook, the provider, and make a reasonable decision based on that?
I agree with you. No, it's probably not something that you would expect. It's something that parents have to get involved in. But like I said, in the end, it's something that you have to control because Facebook has done this before. Facebook in the past has had other privacy snafus. And so it's a difficult world where any piece of information you put on Facebook or elsewhere could appear anywhere.
What about these parties in France? I mean, clearly the authorities there are worried enough to hold meetings about it. Do you think that governments around the world are going to start regulating more tightly the way websites operate, particularly social networking websites?
If more of these types of parties that are happening in France occur, then I would assume so, because people are dying at some of these parties. So France had to take some type of action. It's really difficult to control, though, because if you block one website, then people will find a way to organize themselves at another.
Do you think Facebook as a brand is dying now? I mean, there's a lot of criticism, these messenger chats that were leaked involving the founder of Facebook, obviously pretty damaging to the company's reputation.
No, I've been analyzing, and so far Facebook is still growing at a fast clip. I believe since they launched the Open Graph, the new privacy stuff, they've grown by 10 to 15 million users. If the privacy changes were really that dramatic, you'd see a shrinkage, or you'd at least see stalled growth. But no, Facebook keeps growing. I think you're going to see it keep on going because most people aren't that concerned with the privacy issues, or they're not aware of the privacy issues.
All right. Ben Parr, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it.